Hello everybody out there, and welcome to this webinar. And we hope you're going to find the information valuable because we are passionate about feeding starving people.
It's amazing how this came about. It's coming up on 3 years ago. John came up with a brilliant idea, and we acted, and how it has continued to evolve. It's just amazing.
So let's get right into it. When we first started Zango, of course, it was just Zango Juice, and we went busy working our business with that, and then some other products were added. And when the Zango Meal Pack came on board, I really didn't pay that much close attention to it right away until some other people did. And just to give people a little background on what it is, if you're not familiar, it's a meal pack. It's a dry powdered formulation targeted specifically to help younger children and their families. The meal pack, it's a unique water-soluble formulation that delivers all the critical nutrients in a way that a malnourished body can best utilize and absorb it. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background on how the whole thing came into existence. Because all of a sudden, momentum was building with meal packs, and there was one December that everybody on our team took the meal packs and shipped them to a pastor in Texas because he was going to be doing a mission trip in the spring, so he had a big container full of supplies shipped over there. And in March of that year, he went to Kenya and brought pictures back, and he fed thousands of people there and left some for the school. And there were actually people that walked for days just to get a meal pack. And when he brought these pictures back, it was just amazing, some smiles on the faces and just the conditions, some of the people, just skin and bone, and it was life-changing seeing the information. And I saw a little girl, a little plastic water bottle there with some water in it, and the water was anything but clear. So it kind of like wakes your mind up as far as, wow, there's a huge need. And knowing how a network builds, you can only do so much yourself, but if you get a network behind it, it grows exponentially. And so we were at a regional in Orlando, and I was talking with that pastor. He goes, we can feed everybody. It's just if you want to do it, you got to get the masses involved. You got to get the masses involved. Now, being in the business for a while, I've learned what the tax breaks are, and on averages, the average person saves somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000 a year on their taxes. So I figure even if somebody's on the low end of that, if they just saved $3,000 a year in their taxes, if you divided that into 12 months, it comes out to $250 a month. Well, the meal pack costs $120, and that includes delivery. So it was like a no-brainer. It's like, wow, you'd be ahead just by sharing this whole project with people and getting a momentum going, and we could feed massive amounts of people. But most people didn't see it that way as I did. Most people thought, to have something like this, it's got to be a charity and everything. But that's not the way it is, because there's other companies like Tom Shoes. Every time someone buys a pair of shoes, they donate a pair of shoes. Well, that cost is incorporated into the cost of the product. So what happened was I kept thinking about this and keep thinking about this. And the thing that kept going on my mind as I started doing more research is what Gina's going to go ahead and tell you.
Everyone, I want to ask you, did you know a child dies every 6 seconds under the age of 5 in the world due to starvation? That's a big problem. Wouldn't you agree?
And, that just kept in my mind. Here we are at this day and age with the technology we have, and still a child's dying every 6 seconds under the age of 5. So the Zango Meal Pack, like I say, it costs $120. That includes shipping and tax, and it's 120 PV, and each meal pack feeds approximately 40 meals, so you're looking at about $3 a meal.
AmeriCares, they are an organization that Zango has partnered with, and they've been around since 1982. They have helped deliver more than $11 billion in aid and helped more people in over 164 countries.
And I like that, because people can go to AmeriCares.org. They can find out about, Zango produces the meal pack, but AmeriCares is in charge with delivering them where they're needed. And you can go on there and you can type in the search Zango Meal Pack up there and search it, and you can see all these different places they've gone. It's really, really cool. And so there's a map of where the different meal packs have gone, and after 10 years, we delivered 5 million meals in 20 different countries, and here we are now, about 12 years old, and I think we're getting close to 6 million meals. So it's making an impact. And all this information is building up to what we're going to be talking about next, and that is, how do we go about building this finally? Because there was turbulence here, turbulence there. Well, I kept thinking about what the pastor said about, you got to get the masses involved. How do you get the masses involved? And I thought about how other organizations do it. Some of them put collection boxes out at different businesses. And so we had a printer over in Arizona, because we were spending the winters out there for a while, and they got a collection box up on their counter, and they started getting some change put in there. And it's like, wow, if everybody just did a number of these collection boxes, maybe everybody would be able to get some extra meal packs, and we could really get this thing growing. So sure enough, what we did is I went with a local distributor one day, 3 years ago just about, and we just had some documentation with us, and we went to different businesses. We had no idea what we were looking at. We just knew that we were on a mission. We wanted to feed more starving kids, and we wanted that to be part of our Zango mission. And we went to different places, and most people said no. We were in a deli. They said no, and all of a sudden we're walking, and the lady I was with, her name's Janet Kroll, because she was one of the first ones, and there was a liquor store there. And Janet goes, hey, let's go see if the liquor store would be open to it, because I was explaining the business and everything to him. And I go, Janet, a liquor store to feed starving kids? Are you serious? But I have learned over my years that if there's an idea, you just go with it. And so we went in there, and he goes, he wasn't interested in the business part, but if we wanted to, we could leave a collection box there. And it's like, cool. And then we went across the street, and there was a hairstyling place, and we got one in there. And a week later, there was change in the one in the liquor store, but the one in the hairstyling place really didn't do that well, because you're competing with their tips. So that's not a really good place. But as we went on, we started learning the correct places to put the boxes in, and we found out that liquor stores are indeed very good. That restaurants that have a checkout in the front, not at the table, in the front, they do very well. Any fast food place where they order and then sit down, that does very well. Convenience stores, 7-Elevens. But it wasn't until a little later that we found out that gas stations
with convenience stores attached to them, they do very well. And
what's the best?
And the best is like little Spanish, Mexican grocery stores, convenience stores. They do absolutely fantastic. And usually in the areas that are more in lower middle class areas do better than affluent areas. And it's just amazing. And it's just usually, it's kind of funny, but it's usually the kids prompting the parents to give.
Because on the little topper it says, donate your change. A child dies from hunger every 6 seconds. You can help us send a Zango Goodness meal pack that will provide 40 meals for starving children. Plain and simple, that's it. Little AmeriCares insignia, little Zango Goodness insignia on there, and that's it. We normally put our name on the back, and so that's it. So this has grown throughout our organization to locally here in the area, between Gina's and my efforts, and my mom's got a few boxes out that I helped her get out because she wanted it on this, and Janet Kroll, we're producing well over 1,000 meals per month just in the local area here, what we're doing with the boxes that we have. Then when you expand it to the whole team, it gets to thousands and thousands. So it gets pretty exciting as it starts to duplicate in your business. And there doesn't seem to be any shortage of locations to put these boxes at, but some places had a little issue because the box was a little too big, and so now we've got a little cylinder that we use also.
And just so everyone knows, the labels are available in English and Spanish, so when you call more graphics, let them know if you want it in English or Spanish, and some people actually post both.
Right. And we get the collection boxes from a company called Displays to Go. And when you see the slides, all that information will be on the one slide that we've got on there. So the question is, how do you go in and talk to someone? It's like, wow, how am I going to go in and talk to a person at a business? Well, you got to get out of your comfort zone. That's the first thing. But you'll find the more you do it, the easier you get. And then all of a sudden, you start going in there every few weeks, and they start to become a person that you know and become friends. And some of them get introduced to the other Zango products, and that's just how it is, just like with building the regular part of the business.
And what I love is you're expanding your warm market, and at the same time, you are building your skills doing the business because it's a relational business. And it's amazing when you see how people really want to be on board with this, and that they almost like become your friends when you're walking in, you're smiling from ear to ear, and it's just a lot of fun.
So we're going to do a quick role play on what we would normally do when we go into a business. And I take 3 documents with me. Those will be available so anybody can just download them right on your computer and print them out. One of them says Zango Global Goodness, talks about the meal pack, talks about number of meals, and it's got a picture of a little girl smiling holding the meal pack. The second one is a little document that's Zango and AmeriCares, talks a little bit more about AmeriCares on that one so people can understand that. And then the third document is a map where the meals go. So I'm going to do a role play with Gina here real quick. And I would be looking on Google Maps or Google your location where you live, and I would put down liquor stores in whatever your town is, restaurants in whatever your town is, grocery stores in whatever your town is. When we get new people that want to start up in this, I just go on the computer with them, and it's like, well, this place would be a good one, this place would be a good one, this one. So now you got like a map, an idea in your head of where all these different places could be. So if Gina and I were going to go together, she would be holding the collection box facing the person, and I would have the documentation, and I usually have a little leather folder that I've got some documents and information in. And so how it would go is I'd walk in, and I'd say, hello, my name is John. I'm a local business owner in the area. Can I speak with the owner, the manager, or the decision maker?
I'm the owner.
Okay, great. Like I say, my name is John. I'm a local business owner, and I'm working on a project. And what we're doing is we're working on building a network to help feed starving children. What was your first name?
My first name is Gina.
Gina, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I don't know if you're aware of it, Gina, or not, but a child dies every 6 seconds under the age of 5 due to starvation. That's a pretty big problem. Wouldn't you agree?
Really?
And that's what we get sometimes, okay? People have no clue. I mean, you'll either get someone that says, yeah, but I give to this, that, or the other thing, or wow, yeah, it's a big problem. But you're looking for people that have a heart, okay? And, I would say, well, we want to do something about that, okay?
Okay.
And then the next thing I will do is edify the company that I work with. I work with a company called Zango. It's a 12-year-old multi-billion-dollar wellness company. They brought mangosteen to the market 12 years ago. And they have come up with a meal pack. And what it is, it's a dry powdered formulation for the severely malnourished. It takes someone from the brink of starving to being able to eat regular food. Because, Gene, I don't know if you're aware of it, but if you gave someone who was on the brink of starving regular food, it would just make them sick, and they'd probably throw it up. So what they do is they just add water to this, and it's like a porridge, and it gets them back to health again. Now, and at that time, I would be showing them the first document, the first piece of paper that talks about Zango Goodness. The next thing I talk about is, and we work with a company called AmeriCares. And AmeriCares, they've been around since 1982. They've delivered over $11 billion in aid to 164 different countries. So they guarantee delivery where the meal packs are going. And then I show them the map, okay? So I'd be showing Gina the map right here. This is where some of those meal packs have gone so far. Because, Gina, half the battle is making sure if you're going to collect it, to make sure it's going to get to where it's needed.
Right.
So that's the reason why we chose AmeriCares.
Okay.
So what we do is we take these collection boxes and we put them at different business locations, and wherever the cash is exchanged there,
right.
It goes there. People have extra change, they just toss it in there. And then every week and a half to 2 weeks, sometimes twice a month, it depends on how busy you guys are, we come back in, we collect it, we pool the money together from the different businesses, and then we purchase the meal packs. And then what we do is the following month, we come back in and we show you the receipts and tell you how many meals were delivered.
Okay.
So would you like to take part and help take care of this problem with the starving kids?
Yeah, I'll try for a couple of weeks. See.
Right.
Sure.
And so, folks, what we normally get is a couple different responses. Some people, you don't even get through what you're saying. They just say, put it right here. Others that want to know a little bit more about it. It has to be close to the register. Because, like, I was at a gas station that was a referral from another gas station earlier this week, and she goes, oh, yeah, we could put it over there. And it's like, well, over there it's not going to do any good. It has to be where the traffic's at. She goes, well, where do you think it would be good? I go, well, right there would be perfect. And sure enough, that's where it's at. Okay? So we have our number on the back. So I say if there's any questions, that's it. Some of the objections you get is I don't have any room on my counter. I'm afraid someone's going to steal it. We had one of those in there before. And I basically tell them, well, it's not your responsibility. If something happens, that's on us. We want to feed starving kids.
Or the other one is, well, I support my own charities. Or another one, well, what about the United States? What about right here in the United States? And that, you guys, I want to just really hone in on this, because what people don't realize is in the United States, being hungry is different than starving. Being hungry is you might have gone out without a meal or two here, okay? There's plenty of places people can go to get fed in the United States. In fact, over 90-something% of charities stay right here in the United States. What's the difference here is in these third world countries, we are talking about the people on the brink of dying. We are talking about mothers that are pregnant, that are having babies deformed because of malnutrition. And we are talking a whole different ball of wax here. And this is really important to convey to the person, because I can remember one time not that long ago, we took about 10 minutes with that gentleman from Supermercado and saying, no, these people are on the brink of dying. And then it's kind of like, oh, okay, they can't simulate normal food. They have to have a porridge so their body can bring them back to being able to eat normal food again.
Because, when you got malnutrition and such going on, it's very easy to catch other diseases, and that's part of the reason why so many of the younger kids are dying. Because we want to give them a chance. They're five and under. So it's like, they didn't ask to be planted where they're planted. Nobody gets a choice where we're born. So we just want to help, because you just never know where it's going to go. So it all starts with a meal pack box. And what we normally do is we usually prime it with $1 and a couple coins in there, just to have something in there to get it going, because nobody wants to be first. And so then the next thing you know, people start adding change to it. And then that turns into a pile of change, which you take to the bank and put on your credit card the meal pack, and that turns into a changed life. So we just really, really are excited about this. And then what we have done recently is we put little strips on the top of the boxes every month. We change those out, and the strips say, because of this box and others in the local area, so many meals have been supplied to help feed the hungry. Starvation is, and hunger is still a big problem, but together we're making a difference. Thank you. And we were at the one grocery store, and the lady says some people, they don't even shop. They just come in to put money in the box sometimes.
Right. And then the other thing we do, John, after a while, especially if you get an area where one location has brought in enough for a meal pack or two, we have recognition certificates, and we go back in there and we present them with recognition certificates, usually like once or twice a year, depending.
Well, we just had a goal here. We just hit 20,000 meals in the local area.
Right.
So on the certificate appreciation, it just basically has the name of their business and thanking them for their efforts in having the box out there, because we've now hit 20,000 meals. And, it's about being accountable. Someone's going to be more than happy to have the box out if they know that it's going and it's making a difference. And
not only that and that's why we present the meal pack in a way that we do, because we try to answer all their objections up front, so there's no room. There's accountability. There's guaranteed delivery. It is going where it's going, and we will be accountable every month to you on the purchases that are being made. It's just a no-brainer. And, it's amazing. I just want to share with everyone, when we bring in the recognition certificates, or we, give them an update, especially those recognition certificates, I have seen store owners and managers and clerks actually hug the certificate and say, "Oh, thank you." And they get so excited. Some of them will want to post it right by the box. And, everyone wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves.
I'll never forget this one Spanish market a few weeks ago. The girl there at the counter never smiles, never has a grin on her face, always just serious to work and everything. And she's not the owner, but the owner wasn't there that day, and I wanted to give them the certificate. So I was there, and I handed the certificate to her, and it was the first time I've ever been there. She got the biggest smile on her face. Oh, my goodness. It was just like a breakthrough has happened here. So,
and this, every time we go in there, we do our best to make a connection who's ever behind the counter, because the more we can share with the people that are behind the counter what we're doing, because some places, especially convenience stores and restaurants, they have a different clerk every time of the day and every day of the week, or hiring, and always new people, always new faces. Very, very important to keep building rapport and talking to as many people that that are behind that counter, that are watching that box fill up, know what they're being a part of, what they're taking a part of.
Right. And the nice thing is it also gives you an opportunity when you're talking to find out if there's a need for any of the other Zango products.
Yeah.
And so that has been part of it too, which has been kind of exciting too. So our next slide says, would you like to make a difference? And there's a bunch of little kids there looking like they're waiting for a decision from you. Well, you can help, okay? It's only, this whole project's only possible with you, with other people duplicating and growing the network even bigger. Because 5 million meals, 6 million meals, that sounds good. What about 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, 100 million meals to really, really make an impact? And I do believe enough people catch the vision and take some action that this can certainly happen. So what are the advantages of the Meal Pack program? Well, first and foremost, it's feeding starving children and pregnant mothers. There's got to be a purpose. There's got to be something, okay? If we didn't do it 20,000 meals, well, it's over 21,000 now, in this local area would not have been produced. Did that have an impact on somebody's life? Well, we all know that it did. So what we're doing is, the goal is to create a perpetual giving machine. In other words, something that produces food month after month after month. I have zero doubt in my mind that when I go to the collection boxes after I've let them sit there, I usually collect most of them every 2 weeks, so I go out twice a month, and then there's some. On the way to church, we go a little bit further than where church is. We usually collect that, go to church, then go out to dinner, and there's a bunch of them over there on Saturday nights. Well, I'm doing my business, so I was able to write off the mileage that way by going to church and doing what we'd normally be doing. But there is zero doubt in my mind that I will go to the collection box and it will have nothing in there. Some do better than others. And you have to determine whether it's worth your time and effort. Every place that we put them into, we don't always keep them there. If they're not going to produce, we'll find different ones.
And it's strategic. You know, you'll know. There's some places we have to go in every week. We cannot let that box sit more than a week. There's another other places every couple of weeks, and then there's some places that we do once a month because you know, a couple of dollars a week. But if you leave that sitting in a little cylinder there, sometimes it picks up a little momentum. When they see more and more money going into it, they'll, you know, you can collect a little bit more. So
right. So it's not something that takes a ton of time. Okay, the total amount of time is very minimal once you get the boxes placed. That takes the most time once you find the right places. But once that's done, it's just, you know, we're always looking for more places to go because you never know when you're going to find a really, really good place. I remember we were on a call a week ago Saturday, and the one girl there that she wanted to put her box in, but she was, fear got her, and she was in the parking lot and she left. Well, wouldn't you know it, she finally got the courage up to put it in there, and that is just producing hugely. She's built great rapport with the lady in there. We just got to get outside of that comfort zone because you just never know what you can achieve. So what are the benefits to your business for doing this? Well, it's going to add volume to your business, and feeding starving kids actually helps the business because it's helped some people achieve their next PIN level. People can order them under customers. You can increase your I volume. You get an extra income stream coming in from doing this. Maybe you can use that income to fund other causes. You know, the whole idea is multiplying the impact with leverage, having a lot of people do a few meal packs every month. But, you know, we've got some people on our team, one in particular, Janet, the one that I first started out with, I think last month she was able to order 17 or 17 and a half meal packs. Was it 16?
I think around 16 and a half.
Right, and the month before it was 17. But, you know, you'll have super achievers, okay? The more who participate, the more meals are supplied, the more lives that are impacted. So start a movement in your area and make a difference today.